Pause music.
Welcome to the interviews of Powerworld Global Icon Awards. My name is Dr. Shipali Agrawal, and I'm organizing this award show in New England with Rashmi Bedi. We are very excited to host this great event where we are planning to honor and award some prestigious organizations and leaders for their contribution in the society. It's my honor to interview each winner and bring their story to all our viewers. You will hear from them directly about their journey and the great work they do. I really appreciate the time, all the viewers, as we go through this wonderful journey. I have a very special person today, Preeti Latia. She won the award in Excellence of Art. She's beautiful in her heart and beautiful otherwise. And her art is just beautiful and gorgeous. Welcome, Preeti.
Thank you, Shefali. What a nice introduction.
Oh,
Love the
thank
music
you.
in the beginning too. Get
I
so
know. It's a
excited.
pleasure. It is very exciting and great music, but I wanted to first congratulate you for winning the Powerworld Global Icon Award in the excellence, in the art excellence. So, when you found out, how did it feel, Preeti?
Super excited to be recognized for my work, and I love what I do. So to get an award for what I love is really like an ice cream with a cherry on top. Thank you.
No, it's really a pleasure, and you deserve this award so well. Your art and what you say. I think when you talk about art, ऐसा होता है कि you feel that whatever's in your heart, it comes out on the canvas. So tell me a little bit about how did you first get interested in art?
I probably, from birth, I think I was like painting when I was born, but really seriously around 4 to 5 years old, and started drawing on paper. And then I remember we used to play hopscotch and stuff on the terrace. My parents had a house with a terrace on it, and my mom would give us chalk to draw everything. And I found myself painting murals on the
Yeah,
walls of the terrace,
yeah.
and then even as like growing up and stuff, I I remember teachers used to keep me after school to help them decorate the bulletin boards and stuff like that. And actually, my favorite childhood memory is my best friend and I. We stayed after school to do a whole paper mache project of the map
Wow,
of India.
wow, that's amazing. That's
Yeah, it,
great.
it and it came out so good because we uh, we saw the topography, and then we did the mountains and the plains and everything with paper mache. You can mold it, and I don't know if you've ever used
No,
paper.
I have seen it. I mean, of course, I don't understand that well, but it's gorgeous how you do it.
Yeah.
Does that take a lot of work when you do paper mache?
It does. It's a lot of preparation,
Yeah,
and there is a technique and a method to it.
yeah,
It's funny things you do in childhood, how they
yeah,
come back later.
yeah.
So I am actually doing these paper mache
Oh,
balls,
wow.
you know.
So what is this, Preeti? Tell me a little bit about it. It looks gorgeous.
Paper mache. You mean what is paper mache?
No, what you're making? Like what
I'm
you're
making
showing?
these are more art pieces,
Yeah,
and I just started working on it this week,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's brand new to me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's exciting. And so, while I was working on doing this interview and trying to think back,
Yeah.
and this paper mache stuff came up, and then I started making these bowls. There's another one here. With
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
And then
it's actually made of paper? Is that what you're
it's
saying?
made of paper,
Wow.
glue, gesso.
Sure.
There's a method to it.
Yeah.
Um, and I added my own abstract design to it and
Sure.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
No, that's
So
amazing. And
yeah,
then you basically, I mean, it's just art is so, I think it's not only so satisfying, but
true,
when you see an artist
true.
and you see how, or basically they're entrenched in the art, it's just
Yeah,
amazing to see that.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
So, what do you enjoy being an artist the most? What do you enjoy most being an artist?
Um, Enjoy the most is basically the freedom, you know, and I am really lucky because I have a very supportive husband,
Yeah,
Vijay, who lets me do this, for a living.
yeah.
So I get up in the morning and I start painting, and my day progresses, and I end up at 6 o'clock without knowing where the time went.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then,
you
of
know,
course, my
go
kids
ahead,
are
please.
grown up,
Yeah.
so
So,
that helps, you know.
you said you started at 4. Did
Yeah.
you paint continuously, or did you like go back and
I
forth
did.
in
I
between painting?
painted quite a bit, especially because I went to a school, an art school on Sundays from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, when people say they go to Sunday school, for me, it means art school,
So much
not church.
dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And at
throughout
that
my,
small age, Preeti? At
yeah,
that small age?
yeah, pretty
Wow.
much in middle school, I
Yeah.
took my elementary exam, drawing exam, intermediate drawing exam, and
Wow.
studied for many, many years with this teacher who used to take my work to sell it at embassies and
Wow.
consulates. So he would come back and smile and say, "Oh, the Australian embassy bought your work." And of course, no money was exchanged for me
Sure.
because I was a
Sure.
kid.
Yeah.
And
But it must be such a proud moment, right?
it was a proud moment, yeah,
Yeah.
especially for my parents. Doing this in India, in when we were growing up, art was like a hobby.
Sure.
It wasn't like that big thing that you can make a career out of it.
Oh, I know that. I understand completely.
Yeah. So my parents felt the same way. I studied to be a dietitian, and came to this country and went for higher education as a dietetic and worked as a dietitian earlier in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
But now, of course, my kids are grown and I have two wonderful boys,
Oh,
Rohan and Chirag.
nice.
And
Beautiful names.
thank you. And they are very independent and successful in their own careers. So I have the time now and the freedom, to paint.
Oh, that's amazing. With this art, what contributions have you made that's most meaningful to you, Preeti?
Contributions, I would say the biggest thing, the biggest joy for me is the fact that years ago I started teaching art to kids, and those kids are now grown ups, and many of them went to mass art and they went to
Wow.
RISD, which is the Rhode Island School of Design.
Yeah.
And these are very prestigious schools.
Yes.
So many of them graduated from there and have careers in art today.
Yes.
So that's kind of a very proud moment for me.
Must be very fulfilling to see your
Yeah,
students go higher.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
amazing. Yeah.
And even some of them are teaching art, you know. And
Wow.
of course, the most joyous and the proudest thing that I can talk about is my ability to live and work as an artist,
Yeah.
and that opportunity makes me really happy that I can do that today,
Yeah. I just want to tell you, very eloquent, very, very well spoken. I just want to
Oh,
tell you that.
right.
Uh,
You're so nice.
so, tell me a little bit about some of the challenges. I mean, in this line of work, of course, you had a family and others. Tell me what challenges you had to face.
Challenges, basically, it has been uh, a long career. So there have been some challenges in the sense lately it has been learning how to teach online.
Yeah.
And a little bit before all this COVID and all this happened, the challenge was to learn the business side of art.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
I'm
that's tough.
I'm not much of a business person, so I'm learning now, how to promote myself, how to work, social media, and how to sell work, and
So do you
so
have a
that's
Facebook
been it.
account or
I
do
do
you have
have
a
a
website?
Facebook account. My art page is on Facebook, and I have Instagram,
So
where I would
how do people look at Facebook? What account do they look at? How do
if
they
they look
find
at
you?
Preeti Lathia Fine Art, they should be able to find.
Preeti Lathia Fine Art.
Yeah.
Maybe we can possibly pull this later, Preeti
Oh,
Lathia
that
Fine Art, and show the viewers.
yeah.
Um, what do you enjoy most about being an artist?
I enjoy the freedom. That's the best. I can paint. I can do whatever I want to. From morning till evening, I'm painting, and it brings so much joy to be creative, and it moves the needle in life to more abundance and more joy and more fulfillment. Any type of art will do that. I mean, I paint, but I'm sure those who do music or sculpture or photography could say the same thing. It brings abundance and joy in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see some pieces behind. Are they your
Yeah,
pieces?
yeah, those
There's
are,
gorgeous.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So you basically those are the ones that you actually painted,
Yeah,
and are they abstract painting?
they are abstract. They
Yeah.
are abstract. In fact, I don't know if you can see
Yes, the blue and the orange one.
yeah,
Yeah.
the blue and the red one, they are based on music. So the blue one is more based on pop music, and the red one is more like jazz music.
Very nice.
So the rhythm and everything, the flow
Is
and the rhythm
the
of the
flow and the
music.
rhythm of the music. Yes,
Yeah,
that's great.
you can.
When an artist is painting, there's so many colors, and I mean, I just look at the colors and I'm like, wow. How do you, when you paint, what's your favorite color? How do you pick a color and say, I want to paint on this most of the
I
time?
know it is hard. Colors are fascinating. Colors bring beauty. Again, colors bring joy and dimension to your life.
Yeah.
Y- Used to be that I liked hot pink when I was younger. I
Oh,
loved pink, and I was crazy about it. But then over the years, I find that I like orange and white much more now.
yeah.
I cannot explain that, but it's just I've started. I don't know. Maybe it's the mellow or the autumn of my
Yeah, I
years or
think white
something.
is so classy in my opinion, and orange brings that brightness. Not too bright as red in my opinion, but then it's also bright. So
Yeah.
I'm imagining it's great.
Yeah.
You know, tell me a little bit about when you talk to an artist, you talk about creativity. What is creativity, and what does it mean to you?
Creativity, in how would I explain? In short, it is problem solving and being clever,
I
basically.
see.
So it's creativity that turns in new ideas, imaginative ideas into reality.
Uh,
And it's your ability to tap into your inner resources, your knowledge, your insight, and bring it to fruition and create something elegant in the world. You
yeah.
know,
So that
I would say
what's in creativity in art? Like, how do you find that?
creative. As you study more art, you realize that you have to think about the colors, the edges, the colors, not just for the sake of the colors, but when one color meets
Mixes with the
another
other.
color
Yeah,
and is
yeah,
next to another
yeah.
color, how
And
it
how do you
changes.
harmonize each other and the
Right,
pattern? I think it's a
right,
lot of
and
thinking about that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's all about edges, soft edges, and uh, believe it or not, there's a lot of math in art too.
Yeah.
The golden section, they call it, which is based on the Fibonacci sequence. And so you have to think about your composition.
So it's
Uh,
not just when people look at this, say, oh, it's just a
no,
brush and they paint it. There's a science behind it.
there is.
Yeah.
There's thinking, exploration, discovery, and imagining.
Wow,
Yeah,
those four fine words, and I think that
yeah.
will describe you completely, Preeti.
Oh, thanks.
So I think you're that hidden gem. Not only you're an artist, but I have come to know that you're very active in community service. Tell me a little bit about your community service experience.
I have actually, it all started with Gurjar, which is the Gujarati Association of New England. And I was the secretary, the vice president, and the president of Gurjar. And when I resigned from there, I was invited to join Shishu Bharati,
Very
which is
nice.
a big school for Indian culture and languages. And I was the principal at Shishu Bharati.
Very
So
impressive. Very
thank
impressive.
you. Thank you. So I was now I actually continue to teach at Shishu Bharati. I believe in education and the fact that we need to carry on our Indian heritage and culture, extend it to the kids.
And is
And
there a lot of language that teach all kind of language and culture? And I've heard a lot about Shishubharti,
yeah,
like making sure get connected to Bhagavad Gita and all the different
yes,
languages. Is
yes.
that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. And as you go higher in the classes, they do teach more in depth about Indian culture and being
That's
Indian.
that's
And then
amazing.
my husband and I, we are founding members of the Parish Center for the Arts in our community where we live. And also, I taught art to kids with disabilities, and I've taught art to the elderly as a volunteer.
So wow, so that's so impressive. Not only just artists, but you're also trying to help the community where it
Yes,
may be challenges to do it normally, but with
yes,
your help, those community members are also able to learn, which is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. And actually, we were able to create some auctions and raise money for the organizations also after people learned how to paint and
So,
stuff.
so can I say this then? You're a wholehearted artist, not just
Yeah,
artist on canvas, but also have impart education to people who need it, and also not keep the people behind who cannot do it in day to day life.
that's
So
that is.
really, it's very impressive, and salute to
Thank,
you for doing that.
thank you so much.
So, now that you have received this award, how would you influence others with this, and how would you inspire other artists, the young artists?
Wow. I would love to. As you know, I'm always excited about art.
Yeah.
And I love talking to younger people about art. I would tell them to make time to experiment and play and always be in a stage of exploration.
Yeah.
Try to keep a diary or a sketchbook, and write about your work and try to sketch every day at least 20 minutes from
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
or from imagination or anything that's happening in that day, you
So
know.
anybody, Preeti, can start if they wanted to. There is
Yeah,
no age thing.
yeah.
There is no like special equipment that you need to have.
No, no. As Picasso said, we were all born artists. The
That's right.
the difficulty is to remain one when you grow up.
Well, that's a great one. I
Yeah.
agree. So that's really amazing. So in terms of art, what kind of art do you do? Like mainly canvas? Like what kind of art do you normally do?
Right now, I started as a realistic painter, and I was very real, copying from real life, like setting up a still life and sketching it and painting it. Um, that's what I mean by copying, means looking at something real
And
and,
then
and drawing it. And
imitating it pretty much, yeah.
yeah, but over the years, I found that it didn't give me joy. It almost became like uh, in this day and age of photography, you
Yeah.
don't need to make something that's out there
That's
in the
true
world.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So and it almost became like a coloring book for me. I would draw it and then add the colors to it. it was too joy sucking, I guess.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, sure. Yeah, because you're not really having fun doing it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And so what has happened now is I'm more into abstraction and abstract design and abstract thinking. Abstract art is like poetry. You have to think of it as poetry. You know how a poem gives you a feeling, an emotion, and when you read it, you feel a certain way. That's what abstract art is. You're supposed to look at a painting and feel a certain way. It doesn't tell you what it is
Yeah.
exactly. It's just a feeling that you get.
So, Preeti,
So
tell me a little bit about your these. I'm sure you have many accolades, but some moments in terms of your exhibitions and
yeah, I've
your
done
past things like that.
I've done a lot. I'm in a ton of local societies and art organizations where I've won a lot of awards.
Wow.
Chelmsford Art Society, Merrimack Guild,
Wow. Yeah.
um, Andover Guild, the American Watercolor Society, which was a national prestige to get into the show,
Yeah.
and several. I think over the years, I've gotten lots of awards and accolades. What has happened now is I have become fortunate to be able to paint every day and do my own work, as opposed to being part of a gallery or um, you know um, uh, an organized situation where
Right.
they take care of everything. So
Right.
now
So
I've
you're
taken,
doing it independently now
yeah,
on your own will.
exactly, exactly.
Um, what what inspired you? What inspires you to do it? Like, what's the motivation?
My motivation, I just love art. I
Yeah,
love what I'm doing.
it's
You
coming
know,
from within. Yeah,
yeah, it's something that I have to do uh, every day. It's something I get up in the world. I feel every day is a gift, and this is what I want to do with my day. You know, so I get up, I exercise, do the usual things, and then I get to working. For me, working is get to art.
I'm going to ask you a very funny question, which I think is it's hard. So I'm I'm asking you anyway. As an artist, who's your favorite artist? So,
Who's my favorite artist?
like a painter.
There's a lot of them, I have to
Yeah.
tell you. In the current contemporary world, there's Nicholas Wilton, there's Brian Rutenberg, um, and there are some European artists that I also like. But in the past, my favorite is Matisse,
Wow. Yeah.
and I like Picasso. I've learned to like him.
Yeah.
When I was doing realism, it's funny. I always said that cannot understand what he's doing. Why is he putting the eye here and the nose here?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I get it now, and I
Really.
understand why he did that, and he's correct.
Yeah, it's so funny. I went to Spain and my favorite artist, which really inspired me, was Dali. And
Yes,
every time I would look at thing, I'm like, this is so different. And I couldn't understand, but gradually, I'm not an artist, but just understanding, it's so, soothing to see
yes,
that. So it's very
yes.
nice. First of all, I want to thank you, Preeti. You are so humble, being so accomplished and having so many accolades for your art. Your art is amazing. As an artist, you are great, and you're also providing so much to the community. So I really want to thank you, and want to tell you, you truly deserve this award. And
Thank you.
it's my honor to present this award, and of course, Bhagashri and others will be there. That to be part of this event. So thank you so much for being so nice and so kind and so eloquent, by the way.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you for having me.
any message to the viewers?
To the viewers, I really feel everybody is an artist and should try something artistic and creative in their life. For women, just the way they set up their homes, just the way they present the dinner, just makes them special and creative. For men, I think a lot of men are very good at photography, and my younger son is actually a very good artist. He is
Wow.
very accomplished, and he has won gold keys and silver keys in high school for his art.
So it comes from
So
mom.
yeah, yeah. And funny thing is, the artists that I like are all men also. Happen to be.
That's
I mean, I
inspiring.
like Georgia O'Keeffe. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah.
and I do like you know uh, Jackson Pollock's wife. I think it was Lee Krasner, her name, and she's very good too. But uh, I think Matisse tops the list,
Yeah,
and
but he stops the list. That's amazing.
so yeah.
So this was a pleasure to chit chat with you. I'm so honored to have you and in the Excellence of Art Award. We are looking forward to this event.
Yeah.
Trying to get actually trying to honor some of the organizations like Leukemia Lymphoma Society, API, and others who do so much for the community, and then celebrate you guys as leaders and wonderful people that I actually have an opportunity to meet you guys through this event. So thank
I
you
am.
so much for. Go ahead.
Thank you.
No, no,
Thank you.
please.
I'm so honored to receive this award, and I'm looking forward to the event and personally getting the award from Bhagyashree.
Yes.
So that will be very
Yeah, it's
fun and
very exciting.
exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you for the interview, and thank you to the listeners who'll be listening to this. I hope it's not too boring for them, but
No, I think
I look
you
forward